ESPN's NCAA Basketball, the Atlantic 10 Conference Championship game, is brought to you by Mitsubishi, bringing you the new Eclipse Sports Coupe. See it at your Mitsubishi Motors dealer. By the Principal Financial Group, financial products that give you an edge. And by Apple Computer, maker of Macintosh personal computers, giving you the power to be your best.
To the middle of the left and right to the left of the center of the screen, you can see maybe a river of blue and a sea of red here at the Lewis Brown Athletic Center. They call it the RAC. It used to be known as the Rutgers Athletic Center, and I will tell you now, it is electric in here tonight. We're set to meet the starting lineup. Let's join public address announcer Jim Wilson.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the championship game of the Pepsi Atlantic 10 Conference Basketball Tournament, featuring the Penn State Nittany Lions and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. And now, tonight's starting lineups. At forward for Penn State, a 6'8" senior from Widefield, Colorado, number 33, Tom Hovass. At forward for Rutgers, a 6'6" senior from Jersey City, New Jersey, number 12, Emery Ward. At the other forward for Penn State, a 6'6" senior from Easton, Maryland, number 31, Bruce Layton. At the other forward for Rutgers, a 6'5" sophomore from Trenton, New Jersey, number 35, Tom Savage. At center for Penn State, a 6'9" junior from Hatboro, Pennsylvania, number 40, Ed Bogo. At center for Rutgers, a 6'6" junior from Washington, D.C., number 24, Anthony Duckett. At guard for Penn State, a 6'3" freshman from Aberdeen, Maryland, number 15, Monroe Brown. At guard for Rutgers, a 6'3" sophomore from Brooklyn, New York, number 23, Craig Carter. At the other guard for Penn State, a 6-foot freshman from Greensboro, North Carolina, number 21, Freddie Barnes. At the other guard for Rutgers, a 6'2" junior from Elmwood Park, New Jersey, number 13, Rick Danica. The head coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions, Bruce Parkhill, and the head coach of the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, Bob Renzo.
The starters are set. Penn State and Rutgers set the battle for the Atlantic 10 Conference Championship and the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. We'll be back with tip-off. Tonight, yes, Mert Shapiro, the man that made the call that turned out to be somewhat controversial in the semifinal game in the win over Temple. There's been a lot of talk about that call, and Lou Bonder, the supervisor of officials, explained it very well, that Mark Macon stepped in the lane to call timeout, clearly a violation. They feel it's a good call, and on we go. Game nose tonight. Penn State in the semifinals beat West Virginia by 22. They won the last meeting with Rutgers up at Penn State, 93-65. Rutgers beat Temple in overtime at the semifinal round at the Palestra in Philadelphia. They beat Penn State here at home in overtime earlier this year, 87-83. That's Bob Wenzel on a stick. What do they call him, Bob Sickles?
Bob Sickles or Win Sickles, whatever your preference, Fred.
His first year here as the head coach at his alma mater, and he has turned into a cult figure here. Rutgers has come from 7-22 last year to 17-12 this year, and on the verge of going to the NCAA. And Bruce Parkhill should be no less at Penn State. He's brought his club to 19-10 to this championship game tonight, and they're really playing well. Pass inside, knocked away by Duckett. Penn State with the basketball. Freddie Barnes had it knocked away. It was intended for Fogel. They're trying to pound it in the paint already, Clark.
They really look to throw it inside. Right now, Rutgers in a 2-3 matchup zone defense trying to prevent the passing lanes into the paint area.
Tom Hovass The outstanding senior had it knocked loose. Bruce Blake takes it up and scores, and Penn State breaks on top, and it's good to see Bruce Blake in the lineup. He was knocked unconscious in the semifinal game.
Took a knee to the head. Ray Foster caught him with the knee to the head, but he's doing fine. I talked to Bruce before the game. He said, every time you do a game, Clark, when you and Fred are here, I play well. He's off to a good start here early.
Tom Savage, a great three-point shooter, lets one go, and it's off the heel of the rim. And they've got Blake up court. Freddie Barnes pushing it up, decided not to chance the pass. Now they take it low to Blake. Hovass for three. And Penn State off to a great start. Hovass, an excellent three-point shooter, shooting 45%. A 6'8 senior knocks it down, and the Nittany Lions are up by 5, and they're really going.
Boy, Penn State can do that, push it inside, and then get the perimeter shot down. They're going to be effective.
Ricky Danica just answered it. He is a great three-point shooter in his own right, shooting 42%. They got numbers 2-on-1. Hovass takes it through the lane and is fouled. Duckett got it. First foul in the ballgame. Boy, it is wild in here tonight.
This is what March Madness is all about. Here, Hovass has a 2-on-1, but Danica does a nice job getting back. And then there's the body foul by Anthony Duckett. Really didn't square up and get in front of Hovass to stop the penetration.
The winner of this game tonight will be either the 14th or the 15th team in the tournament, depending on what Indiana does this evening. We have not heard their score yet. Bruce Blake, turnaround shot, good. He has 4. So he has nice moves inside.
He really does. He doesn't waste very much motion. He also gets out well on the break. He's off to an excellent start. 2 of 2 with an assist. Penn State is yet to miss from the floor.
They're 3 for 3, Clark. That's exactly the kind of start you know that they wanted to get here in front of a very vociferous crowd at Rutgers. First turnover.
Well, I was so impressed with Penn State. There we get a look at Bruce Parkhill. He really doesn't like this format in terms of having a championship game on some team's home floor. He'd rather have it at a neutral site, but here in the early going, I'm sure he's pleased with the way his people are playing.
Down inside, Fogel, who's had a big tournament so far. The shot blocked and out of bounds to Rutgers. The Scarlet Knights' inside defense was there. Bob Wenzel, the Rutgers coach. A 2-time MVP here as a player. Played first for Jim Valvano, then Bill Foster here. Danica on the run is fouled by Tom Hovass. First foul on Penn State. Hovass, the 6'8 senior from Widefield, Colorado, just an outstanding player.
Here we get a look at Rich Danica. He puts it on the floor, draws the foul on Hovass. This is one of Bruce Parkhill's concerns. He thought the Rutgers guards, Danica and Carter, could beat his guards with dribble penetration, and Danica did that on that last play.
Rick Danica is a 6'2 junior from Elmwood Park, New Jersey. Redshirted last year with a foot injury. Back this year. Surprising miss. He's an 83% free throw shooter. An excellent three-point shooter. Has perhaps as good a range as anybody in McJeffrey. He will shoot from way behind the three-point line. Often in the game. Hovass having trouble getting it in. It was kicked.
Well, you know Rutgers going to stay in that full-court pressure most of the game with their crowd behind them. If they can get a couple of turnovers and conversions, that really ignites them.
Danica contests the inbounds pass, but it's still Penn State basketball. Well, Rutgers tough in that press. And they can throw it on you in a hurry after a made basket, too. Listen to the crowd. Now they're going to throw long to Blake, and they're 2-on-1 against Duckett. Blake to Fogel, and he's fouled. Danica helping Fogel up. He hit the back out. No foul?
No foul, just safe on the slide. Great hustle that time by Rick Danica. Watch him get back. This is a 2-on-1. Blake, nice lead for Fogel, but look at Danica get in there and make the hustling save.
Indiana defeated Wisconsin 75-64, so the Hoosiers win the Big Ten championship, and they become the 14th team to qualify for the NCAA. That's a double dribble. The ball comes back to Rutgers. Scarlet Knights down by 3. Just listen to the crowd. You look at Bruce Parkhill, the Penn State coach. Boy, what an exciting week of basketball. 15 teams in now. At the close of festivities on Sunday night, 64. Snowflakes falling harder now, soon to become an avalanche. Starting tomorrow, really.
Well, this is an exciting time of year. It seems like this tournament just continues to get bigger and bigger and more exciting each year.
Monroe Brown, they call him money at Penn State, and he nails it from the outside.
Well, I tell you what, Fred, excuse me, but if they're able to knock down that perimeter shot, we talked about it in our keys, that's going to make it extra tough for Rutgers to sag in and try to deny the ball into the paint if Money Brown and Hovass and Freddie Barnes can knock down perimeter jump shots.
Play was stopped because an object hit the court, and the public address announcer here is reminding fans not to do that.
Penn State in the man-to-man defense.
Danica. Gets by Fogel. Kicks it back to Emory Ward. Ward makes a move, and Blake puts up the jump shot. And Monroe Brown rebounds for Penn State, and the Nittany Lions are playing very well. And Monroe Brown's going to take it all the way.
Well, Bruce Blake makes that play happen because he's out at the head of the break, Fred, forcing that defender to respect him being ahead of the pack, and then Monroe Brown just decided, I'm going to take it coast to coast.
Penn State has now hit 5 out of 6 shot. Rutgers turns it over for the 3rd time in this ball game. It is 11-4 Penn State. Penn State has really played well in this tournament. They beat Rhode Island 84-68. They beat West Virginia 86-64. And both times they carved the opponent up inside.
They throw it into that paint. They do an excellent job of getting low post position, creating good passing angles, and then executing and completing plays in the lane.
Freddie Barnes, jump shot good, and they've hit 6 out of 7. Barnes picks up his first 2. Everybody but Ed Fogel has scored for Penn State, and the Nittany Lions lead by 9 with 15:57 left in the first half. Penn State has scored 6 straight points now.
Well, Rutgers needs to get something positive offensively now. Penn State really on a roll as we get a foul. Looks like Bruce Blake, the way he's looking with the hands on the hips, he probably committed it.
Came away from the ball. It was on Blake, his first, the second on Penn State. We have timeout here at Rutgers with 15:49 left in our first half. Penn State out quickly and their fans celebrating. They're up by 9. What? All right, thank you, John Saunders. Quite a week of basketball in college, and obviously ESPN has you right in the eye of the hurricane all week long.
Well, they've got it all coming right at you.
Savage trying to get it inbounds, looking, and lobs way outside to Carter, almost knocked down by Monroe Brown. Now Savage from the deep corner. That was partially blocked by Ed Fogel, and Savage hit the deck. It's a no call. Freddie Barnes fires outside to Blake, turned down the shot. Hovass to Barnes, inside Fogel. His first shot is good. Ed Fogel now has scored, and all 5 Penn State starters have scored tonight. There hadn't been a substitution in the game yet.
Well, Bob Wenzel talked about the balance, the fact that Penn State has numerous weapons, and they've certainly showed that to us here in the early going as everybody has put up points.
There's Datica from way outside, coming up short on the 3. Hovass rebounds to Freddie Barnes, the freshman guard. A pair of freshman guards here for this Penn State team, and a foul is called on Bruce Blake. It's his second foul. That could be a big call.
That really could be. Bruce Blake working really hard to try to get low post position. Here we get a look. I don't know if you call this foul. Here it is. Him and Savage in the lane. He's working hard. Oh, I don't know. I think that's maybe a no call, Fred.
Substitution now for Rutgers. Miles Dixon, a 6'2 senior guard, checks in. And now James Barnes is coming on the floor for Penn State. James Barnes is a 6'7 sophomore. I'll tell you, Penn State's deep. They bring Barnes and Daggetts off the bench at the front spots, and they've got Brian Allen and Christian Appleman, seniors at the guards that started earlier this year. There's a walk. Penn State gets it back, still leading by 11. Bruce Parker can really get deep on that bench. Bob Wenzel, you're looking at here, not quite as deep at Rutgers.
That's certainly a factor, the fact that Penn State has a quality big guy like Barnes, and you see him running the floor.
Missed the shot. That's going to be a walk. And now it comes back to Rutgers. The Scarlet Knights down by 11.
Penn State, we've talked about how well they execute offensively and throwing the ball in the paint, creating good post position, good passing angles, but they're also very tough defensively, Fred. They do a nice job in their man-to-man defense, really helping each other out at the defensive end. Look at these field goal percentages. 88 for Penn State to 20 for Rutgers.
Oh, what a nice move by Miles Dixon. The reverse layup left-handed. His first 2, he comes off the bench to knock down a big shot for Rutgers. Now Penn State by 9.
Well, Rutgers needs to do something positive every time down the floor offensively, not only to get points on the board, but it allows them to get into their full court pressure.
Ball knocked loose, but saved by Monroe Brown. Boy, he picked that up in a dangerous spot.
He really did.
He was kind of straddling the timeline. He couldn't move his back foot. Barnes. Freddie Barnes to James Barnes. Pulls his way inside, and it's going to be a foul against Tom Savage. The first on Savage and the second on Rutgers.
Well, I like James Barnes. He's got the big, wide body, but yet he has the nice, soft hands, Fred. Here we look at him putting it on the floor. He's just going to work his way towards the basket. Savage not quite able to square up and get completely in front. Anytime that happened, the defensive player is going to be called for the foul.
Lee Perry now in the lineup for Rutgers. Now both coaches going to the bench. Vogel takes it inside, left-handed, and knocks down his fourth point. And Penn State is up 17-6 with 14:11 left in the first half. Christian Appleman is now in the Penn State lineup.
Well, I tell you what, Penn State getting off to this great start is really taking the starts out of this Rutgers crowd.
Miles Dixon throws up a wild shot. You know what? Penn State got Rutgers out of their offense that trip. Nice dish inside. James Barnes sticks it.
Well, this is textbook in terms of throwing it down in the paint, Fred. This team playing as well as we've seen them playing. We've done 3 or 4 of their games.
Rutgers has called timeout. Penn State is performing surgery in the paint. 13:49 left in the first half. All right, thank you, John Saunders. This telecast is an exclusive presentation of Creative Sports Marketing in association with ESPN. Any use, rebroadcast, or other transmission of this game without the written consent of Creative Sports Marketing and ESPN is prohibited. 19-6, Penn State. In fact, Penn State doing everything well.
They really are. The pace of this game is in favor of Penn State. Rutgers has not been able to disrupt them at all offensively, and in their offensive end, they haven't been able to get those types of shots.
Savage hits the 2, his first basket of the night. Rutgers now 3 for 8. Penn State is 9 for 11. And Penn State has out-rebounded Rutgers 6-1. Hovas shots and an out-rebound. Tom Savage. Rutgers with a chance maybe to put something together here now.
Well, not the best shot in the fast and breaking the pressure. Pull up for a 1-on-2 jump shot, although Hovas a great shooter. That's what Rutgers is going to have to do, I think, Fred. They're going to have to turn their RPMs up, try to make it more of a helter-skelter game.
Anthony Duckett takes it to the lane, shoots it off balance, misses. James Barnes forces the rebound away for Penn State and gives to Christian Appleman. The Nittany Lions to Hovas. Threw it inside to Vogel and went through his legs and picked up by Duckett. 12:47 left in first half action here. Datica down the baseline. Oh, what a great shot by Rick Datica. He has 6 points tonight.
Pretty move off the penetration.
Rutgers press. Brian Allen is into the guard now for Penn State. He and Appleman, the seniors who were the starting guards at the beginning of the year, are in there together now.
That's really helped the Penn State ball club, Fred, to be able to start the 2 freshmen and bring 2 seniors with a wealth of experience in off the bench.
Bad pass. Vogel threw it right in the hands of Rick Datica. Datica drops it to Lee Perry, and that's going to be a charge. Hovas was there and set. Perry banged into him. His first foul. Team fouls even at 3 apiece.
Well, you've either got to clearly get around Hovas or stop and pull up for the jumper. Here's Lee Perry coming right at you. Hovas in pretty good position. Perry trying to create something that really wasn't there. Another angle. Little fake look away by Datica. Good call.
You know, Hovas taking that charge. First the pass to Barnes. Hovas is playing with a bad back. He has a broken nose, and he cut his left hand trying to slice a dinner roll at the pregame meal before the semifinal game in Philadelphia.
And probably got a little stomach and chest ache now after taking that block.
I was going to say, it came to mind when he got hit there. I think Tom Savage just got called for his second foul. He did. Just a little note that Tom Hovas and Christian Appleman are roommates both at school and on the road. Together, they broke their noses in the game in Philadelphia in the quarterfinal game. Together, they've had 7 broken noses. I wouldn't go visit them in that room.
I'd stay away from those guys, too.
Stolen by Datica. He's got Miles Dixon up there. Miles Dixon has come off the bench to score 4. Now Rutgers slaps the press on. C.J. Johnson fires it up court to Brian Allen. The off-balance shot, no. And a foul is called on Miles Dixon.
Brian Allen wants 2 freebies. He thought he was fouled in the shooting motion. Murph Shapiro says he got him on the floor. Miles Dixon getting back after he scored at the other end. Here's Allen and Dixon chasing him down. Reaches in. In the NBA, that's 2 shots, Fred, but I realize we're in the college game.
This the Atlantic 10 Conference Championship game at Rutgers. With 11:44 left in the first half, Penn State leading Rutgers 19-12. The first 2 rounds of the tournament, first 3 rounds, I should say, were played at the Palestra in Philadelphia on a neutral site. And then the championship game goes to the home court of the highest seeded remaining team, and that is Rutgers, the number 3 seed. Both West Virginia, the 1 seed, and Temple, the 2 seed, defeated in the semifinals. Temple beaten in overtime by Rutgers, 62-59. Penn State beat West Virginia, 86-64. Mark, looks like the Atlantic 10 will have 4 teams in postseason play of some type. Brian Allen, off the heel of the ring. Rebound to Emory Ward for Rutgers. West Virginia certainly is in the NCAA. The winner of this one goes. Temple, who knows? Maybe, maybe not. But
They're really on the bubble.
The loser of this game should go to the NIT, and if Temple doesn't go to the NCAA, they're surely going to get an invitation to the NIT. So at least 4 teams will go to postseason play out of the Atlantic 10 this year, it looks like.
Which is really a nice way to end the season for this conference. Really, when you look at the fact that these 2 teams end up in the conference championship game, probably the best scenario overall for the conference in terms of possibly having 4 teams in postseason play.
Well, you have to feel that Temple and West Virginia are going to sustain those excellent programs they've had for a number of seasons now. We might be looking at the wave of the future here. Both these programs are on the rise.
On the rise. They've got a solid foundation started here with Wenzel and Bruce Parker. You never can underestimate what this type of exposure and success can do for a program that's had little success in past years.
Craig Carter hits his first 2 points of the night. Carter's first bucket. Hovas to Brian Allen. Now Rutgers within 5. An 8-2 run for the Scarlet Knights, and they're back in it.
Penn State now needs to tone down, take their time, display a little patience here.
C.J. Johnson in a bit of trouble. Throws it back outside to Freddie Barnes.
Well, you know Rutgers, they aren't going to give up. I tell you what, these guys play with so much emotion. That's a credit to Wenzel and his coaching staff as well as the players. They get out here and get after it, never say die.
Emory Ward is called for a foul. That's going to put them into 1-1. That's the 7th team foul on Rutgers now. See if we can spot it right there.
There's the over-the-top pass, well used. Oh, Emory Ward really just trying to fight for good defensive position. And James Barnes maybe got away with a little push there.
Looked like Ward wrapped his arm around him as he came past him, though. C.J. Johnson now is out of the lineup. Vogel back in. James Barnes on the line, the 6'7" sophomore. Something else Penn State's been doing extremely well is shooting free throws for the tournament. Bob Wenzel obviously unhappy with that call, talking to one of the officials. 10:24 left in the first half. Penn State by 6.
I think it hurts Rutgers a little more when they have to go to their bench because they just haven't gotten the proven production from their bench players as has Penn State in terms of Barnes and Deggets, and certainly Appleman and Allen have given them a nice lift off the bench in the tournament.
Datica, jumper from the line, rolls off the rim. Ball hammered back up there, and then Fogel's going to be called for a foul. The Penn State center draws his first foul. Team foul number 4 on the Nittany Lions. Rutgers has not led in this game. Penn State jumped on them quickly. Tom Savage back in. Emory Ward out of the lineup now to catch a little breather here for Rutgers. Savage handling the inbounds pass, looking. Bit of trouble with it, but he gets Craig Carter. They try to get it to Duckett. The ball hit the rim, picked off by Fogel to Freddie Barnes.
Well, nice transition defense by the Knights.
James Barnes, Ed Fogel. Rutgers really putting the pressure on defensively now. And Freddie Barnes sticks a 3. His 5th point. The freshman from Greensboro, North Carolina's Dudley High School just nailed one, and it's back to a 9-point lead for Penn State with 9:39 left in the first half.
Well, we talked about perimeter shooting, and he was the guy we focused on, Freddie Barnes. Look at that range by Datica.
Fires from outside, misses. It was tipped away by Lee Perry out of bounds. It'll be Penn State basketball. Dave Diggett's a freshman now, replaces James Barnes.
Well, you have to wonder with their size and also with their depth up front, Fred, whether or not Penn State is going to eventually wear down Rutgers, because Rutgers, although they're quick jumpers, they're active, they just don't have the overall size that Penn State has. And over the course of a game like this, it can eventually wear you down.
Freddie Barnes, Tom Hovas at the top of the circle. Baseline Fogel puts up the jumper, good. Ed Fogel's had a tournament. He had 45 points in the first 2 games Penn State played. Now he has a half dozen in this one here tonight. Rutgers needs to get Datic and Savage going. Datic is just 2 for 6. And Tom Savage has only 1 field goal tonight. Baseline, Craig Carter open for the jump shot. He gets it. Craig Carter has 4.
That's also a guy that can give them some point production in bunches. Craig Carter.
The press causing problems, but Penn State saves the ball. They get it up to Hovass, who's going to hold it up for a moment.
Well, in talking to Bruce Parkhill, he said in both games earlier during the regular season that the press never really bothered Penn State. And so far, the Scarlet Knights haven't been able to get a whole lot out of the press.
It's been bothersome, but not productive.
Good point.
Brian Allen, that's a 3. The senior guard, Brian Allen, has 5 points. He's a 6'3 senior from Reston, Virginia. And Penn State leads by a dozen now. They led by 13 earlier. 8:11 left in the first half. Duckett. Foul by Brian Allen. I tell you what, Brian Allen is not going to let you have the easy shot. He'll spend the foul. Penn State has hit all 3 3-point field goal attempts tonight. They're 3 for 3 from behind the line.
Here's a nice little pick and roll, pick and fade that time between Datica and Duckett, and Brian Allen coming over from behind. Obvious foul.
Brian Allen out of the game now. Substitution for Penn State. Money Brown back in.
Whoa. See those field goal numbers, 12 for 16. Penn State, they've done it in a variety of ways, Fred. As Duckett misses the first free throw, they've done it inside, and they've also knocked down 3 3-pointers.
Parker may sound silly, but Penn State's playing pretty basketball now. They're doing it the way that Bruce Parkhill drew it on the board.
Oh, diagram basketball at its best. You know, on the chalkboard, those X's and O's don't move, but Penn State able to pull that out of the locker room. And so far, have executed their game plan perfectly.
And we've talked about it before. It's one thing to have a good game plan, but the players still have to execute it.
You got that right.
In these tournament games, Bruce Parkhill and the coaches at Penn State have really put together 3 excellent game plans, and his players have gone out and done it. They're an intelligent, veteran group of players, and they're playing very well right now.
Playing with a lot of confidence. The kind of success they've had in the tournament thus far breeds confidence.
Rutgers, Duckett knocked it away, but it's saved, and Hovass takes a 3 from the corner that won't drop, and Duckett clears the rebound. To Danica. Quickly up court to Savage, who takes the baseline, wheels inside, and scores.
Oh, what a nifty piece of ball handling that time by Savage to elude 2 Penn State defenders.
Well, he's strong inside and has great range. He's a 49% shooter from 3-point territory. 9-point lead to Penn State, 7-10 left in the first half. Vogel handles it inside. Knocked out of there by Duckett. Oh, really, now, Rutgers is playing tougher defense inside right now. There's Savage in the corner with it to Danica.
They're a little more active. They're putting pressure on the shots and coming up with the defensive boards a little better. There haven't been many defensive boards. Penn State shooting an excellent percentage.
Savage, the drive again. That time it rolls off the front of the rim. He was a little bit off balance. Lenny Brown right back for Penn State. Well, look at that Rutgers defense inside.
1-3-1 zone, very active. Trying to keep that ball out of the paint. There's Vogel flashing into the lane. No high-low action by Penn State.
Freddie Barnes near the corner. First 2 games in the tournament, Penn State's inside people were able to catch a little bounce pass as they were moving to the basket with a guy on their hip. Rutgers has taken that away from them so far. Shot blocked in there. Rutgers out on the break. Savage is going to take it with Hovass and give it up to Craig Carter, who's fouled. The shot's going to fall. Count it. I believe they will count the basket. Yep. Give Craig Carter the deuce. He has 6 points. Hovass has his second foul.
Here we get a look at the 1-3-1. Active hands by Duckett there. Penn State retrieves. But there's the turnover initiated by Danica. And watch this nice lead by Savage for Craig Carter. He's going to make the defense commit. Now drop it off beautifully. And there's Carter strongly to the basket. With a foul there by Hovass. There's a nice drop-off. Hovass tries to recover. But nice body usage by Craig Carter. How about that hairstyle? And that emotion.
Craig Carter at the line for the first time. And a moment ago, we talked about what a great game plan Penn State had devised. Bob Wenzel and his staff have countered with the defense that's working right now.
Well, I figured they'd have to go with the zone, really try to force Penn State to beat them from outside. So far, Penn State has been able to convert the perimeter jump shots, but there's only so much you can take away from a well-balanced offensive team. you just can't take away everything, so you have to go with the percentages.
Well, you can bet that pretty soon now, as Tom Hovass will start looking for threes. There's Craig Carter, just committed his first foul on the reach after missing the free throw. Maybe a little bit of frustration. Maybe.
A lot of emotion in this type of game. I think both teams have settled in nicely, though. Penn State certainly not bothered by any emotional problems in the first part of this game. They came out very strong. You know, it was always so fun when I was at Ohio State to play in these types of games. You knew the place was going to be stuffed to the rafters when people were there an hour before game time. And you could just kind of feel the electricity and the thickness in the crowd.
Well, this is excitement here at Rutgers. 6:05 left in the first half. Penn State up by 9. They have led all the way to this point. All right, thank you once again, John. We have 6:05 left in our first half. 30-21, Penn State. The Nittany Lions grabbed the lead. They've led all the way. They've been up by as many as 13. At the moment, they're up by 9. Datica, Craig Carter, Lee Perry. Over the top, Duckett's in there, and he's fouled by Monroe Brown. First on Monroe Brown, and now both teams are into 1-1. On behalf of the Scarlet Knights and the Nittany Lions, Anheuser-Busch will make a $500 donation to local Students Against Drunk Driving chapters at both Rutgers and Penn State. Congratulations on advancing to the Atlantic 10 Championships. Anthony Deckett, 6'6" junior from Washington, D.C.'s Springarn High School, has 1 point tonight. He didn't start playing until he was a junior in high school. There's Joe Paterno, made the trip down from Penn State to watch the Nittany Lion basketball team tonight. There's a little something about winning, doesn't it?
I'd say he does. Rutgers backed off the press for the first time this half. They're going to just go with the 1-3-1 half-court zone. Been pretty productive and effective for them over the last 6 or 7 minutes.
He's packed back in that 1-3-1 zone. So far, it's denied the ball inside pretty well, and it does again as Lee Perry deflects. The ball loose on the floor. It'll be out of bounds. No. Great save by Rick Datica. Ricky Datica was able to keep it from going out of bounds. Rutgers within 7, and the lob that Perry knocked away. That's intended for Savage, knocked away by James Barnes.
Well, we talked about Penn State's perimeter shooting. As much as they love to throw it inside, they're going to have to adjust if, in fact, this zone continues to bother them. Look at Datica. Ho! They missed one there. He was clearly out of bounds, but...
You don't have him. The official was screened. He was behind him. Right. He couldn't see over the top and never saw his foot down.
Exactly right. Those guys aren't perfect. I like the line you had, Fred, that they start out perfect and have to get better as the game goes on.
Savage. Brian Allen may be hurt. He went down. He's up and appears to be all right. Savage. Brian Allen slipped down, and Savage went to the basket like a Savage. He really went.
That's what you call a big-time flush, Fred. Right over a defender.
Now the crowd back in it. Rutgers within 5, and Penn State needs something to restore order. And Barnes tries to get it. Can't. Vegas, the freshman, threw the ball off of Rutgers out of bounds. I really don't know why he did it. I think he was trying to get it to his own guy, maybe.
I think he actually just lost control. He was trying to get the rebound, and it just slipped through his hands. And fortunately for Penn State, it bounced off a Rutgers player.
Ed Fogle back in. Dave Vegas, the freshman, sits down now. Brian Allen inbounds to Freddie Barnes. 4:39 left in the first half. Deep corner to Allen. To Barnes. Tough work to Fogle. The shot on the rim doesn't go. Look at him battle for the rebound. It's on the deck, and it's going to be Rutgers basketball. James Barnes threw his body on the floor trying to save it and couldn't.
And we're going to look at the missed shot, the tail end of the missed shot, the ball on the floor. Bodies all over. And Barnes, oh, so close.
It looked like
maybe one of the seams must have touched the out-of-bounds line.
6 feet inside the Deckett. Brian Allen was called for a foul. Right now, it's going Rutgers' way. They were down by 13. They're within 5 now.
Well, I really think the 1-3-1 has made a difference. They've become more active and aggressive in it. And some of the early shots that fell for that man's team, Bruce Parkhill's team, there you get a look at Winslow. Some of those earlier shots that fell for Penn State have not gone down, and give Rutgers credit for being more active and aggressive in their zone defense.
2 excellent young coaches in this basketball team. Tom Savage gets his 7th point. 6'5" sophomore from Trenton, New Jersey. A transfer from Virginia Tech. A 2-time All-Stater. Became eligible midway through last season. He's averaging 20 points a game.
Well, I tell you what, you want to know how serious he is about this game? During the warm-ups, about a half an hour prior to game time, his teammate threw him a bad pass, and he gave him a stare that was unbelievable.
Rutgers within 3 after being down by 13. Penn State has been calm for a while. Rutgers defense has stifled the Nittany Lion offense, and is going to do it again. It is Rutgers basketball, and a 3 would tie it with 3:59 left in the game. Listen to the crowd.
This is the huge advantage of being on your floor to get the crowd back into it. They can be so instrumental.
Carter, it's a 1-point game. Craig Carter has 8 points. 30-29, Penn State, 3:38 left in the first half, and Bob Wenzel up off the bench, firing up this crowd in his club. They are all standing along the Rutgers bench. Knocked away inside again. Boy, they're contesting every pass. Brian Allen tries a 3 and gets it from the deep corner. That is a big basket for Penn State. Brian Allen has 8 points in this game.
Boy, huge hoop that time by Allen.
Danica drives the baseline, left hands it up, and a tremendous shot by Danica.
Oh, my. Left hand. That almost hit the shot clock.
Highlight film. Danica has 8. 2-point lead, Penn State. 3 minutes left in the first half. Monty Brown to the baseline to Allen. One fake. Up goes a shot off the front of the rim. Lee Perry slaps it out. Picked up by Monty Brown, and he's fouled. That was Tom Savage, 3rd foul. That's a big foul.
He's going to have to sit down now for the rest of the half. You just can't risk having him on the floor with 3. He doesn't like it, but he's going to have to sit down until the break. Looks like Emory Ward. Oh, now check this shot out. Penetration on the baseline. Barely lets it go before he comes down high off the window. Boy, he had a bunch of English on that one. Look at this shot. Look at this shot. Left hand. I mean, right to the top of the backboard, cleanly through. Got to have a proper backspin on that one, Fred.
That's great coaching, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
You can't teach that shot. Monty Brown. 5 points, Monty Brown. I'll tell you, Rick Danica is a heck of a player. He didn't get a play here last year because of a stress fracture to his foot. He has really made a difference this fall.
He's a heady performer, almost like a coach on the floor.
3-point lead, Penn State, 2:48 left in the first half. Danica gives it to Miles Dixon. With Savage out, Danica is now kind of a lone 3-point threat, although Lee Perry will shoot it from 3-point range, and so will Dixon on occasion. But with Danica and Savage both in there, they can really balance the floor with 2 3-point shooters. Dixon to the lane. Miles Dixon has 6.
Boy, that's a nice move. Again, Bruce Parkhill concerned about Rutgers' ability to put the ball on the floor and penetrate against his players who he doesn't think are as laterally quick as the Rutgers players.
James Barnes, Brian Allen, another 3-point attempt. No good. James Barnes couldn't get enough balance to get off the floor, and Emory Ward got the rebound for Rutgers. And here are the Scarlet Knights with a chance to lead for the first time in this game with 1:55 left in the first half. Danica against Brown. Perry. Miles Dixon. Duckett. And Rutgers goes in front for the first time tonight. 35-34, Scarlet Knights. 5 for Anthony Duckett. Vogel got the ball to Barnes. It's off his hands, out of bounds. One of the few times lately Penn State's been able to get it down in there, and then they mishandled the pass. Timeout here. 1:08 left in the first half. Look at this crowd.
All you need is a little penetration to force the defense to come up and respect that penetration. Here's Miles Dixon. Just a little penetration. Barnes comes up to help, and Duckett on the baseline for the Deuce.
Rutgers coming away from Coach Bob Wenzel, their first lead of the ball game. They're up 35-34 with 1:08 left in the first half, and now they have the basketball back. They have the lead and the ball. Well, the defense, 1-3-1 of Rutgers, has really choked off the inside game of Penn State.
That's what it's designed to do. Keep the ball out of the paint. In Penn State, they've gotten it in there maybe once or twice, and because it's been so long since they've had it in there due to the great defense by Rutgers, they haven't been able to convert.
And Rutgers is warmed up. They're now shooting 61% from the floor. Dixon throws it back to Lee Perry, goes after a three and gets it from the deep corner. Lee Perry's first bucket of the game, and Rutgers up by 4 with 38 seconds left in the half. Penn State may need this halftime break.
They really do. They need a basket more than the break, though. They've been a long time scoring. Miles Dixon having an outstanding half off the bench for the Scarlet Knights. He scored a couple and penetrated. Oh, nice pass. That's
a call 10. Anthony Beckett or a foul? They're going to call it a foul. Lenny Brown made a great pass down inside. It's a foul on Anthony Duckett, his second.
See, this is what Penn State has to do more. Here's penetration by Monty Brown. You see Rick Datica come over to help. That allows C.J. Johnson to get that open area on the left side of the hoop. There's Coach Wenzel. I guess he didn't think that was a foul, huh?
I thought Duckett got his hand in the net, too.
He may have. He may have touched the net a little bit.
C.J. Johnson's free throw. Oh, he banked it in from out front. Got to call that one.
Yeah, you definitely have to call that one loud.
Bob Wenzel still objecting to the foul call. Penn State now within 3. Christian Appleman now is going to replace Brian Allen at a guard with 23 seconds left in the half. C.J. Johnson here, a 6'8 sophomore, could get Penn State within 2 points. The Nittany Lions led by 13 at one time. Both free throws good. 23 seconds left in the half. Rutgers up by 2, and now they have a chance to get the last shot of the half. Danica going to be met by Freddie Barnes at midcourt. Miles Dixon.
I'll tell you what, that's exactly what I think he'd do, penetrating this.
The shot missed, but the tip good by Lee Perry. Tom Everson missed. Lee Perry tipped it in. He has 5, and now there's a foul on Danica. First foul on Rick Danica.
That's the real live Wenzel there. That's not a windsickle there. That's the real guy. He's upset.
That foul comes with no time on the clock.
And Scarlet Knights can head to the locker room if they so wish. Freddie Barnes going to get 2 shots, or unless they called it on the floor and he's going to get the 1-and-1. Looks like the 1-and-1.
Freddie Barnes now 3 for 3 at the line. The freshman has 8 points. Could get Penn State within 2 at halftime here. And does. So we have arrived at halftime. Let's go back and take a look at the last play.
Here's the play that sent Barnes to the line with no time. Well, actually, we're seeing the tail end of it. Couldn't see much there. Here's the reaction to it to let you know what Wenzel thought of the call.
Bob Wenzel, a very fiery coach on the Rutgers sideline. We're at halftime. Rutgers 40, Penn State 38. Back to John Saunders.
Okay, thanks a lot, gentlemen. A very close one between 2 teams who really weren't expected to be there. Rutgers knocked off Temple, the number 2 seed, and Penn State took out West Virginia, the number 1 seed in the Atlantic 10. So these teams are trying to join the 15 already in the field of 64 for the NCAA tournament, and we've had 3 more teams get in there today. Middle Tennessee State from the Ohio Valley Conference, they beat Austin Peay earlier on ESPN. Indiana, the regular season champions in the Big Ten, no tournament there. They beat Wisconsin tonight. The clinch battle from the Sun Belt. From the Southern Conference, it's East Tennessee State. And by 7-Up, the choice for refreshment. Cool me down, 7-Up. Rutgers leading Penn State by 2. We're at halftime in the Atlantic 10 championship game. Now, elsewhere today, exclusively at your Acura dealer. By new Michelob Dry. One taste, and you'll drink it dry. And by Rude. Rude is air conditioning. In Dayton, Ohio, the Midwestern Collegiate quarterfinals today. Loyola of Illinois facing Xavier on Saturday. Let's go back to the Atlantic 10.
All right, thank you, John Saunders. There's the halftime margin, 2 to Rutgers. They got their first lead with 2 minutes left in the half. Penn State led by as many as 13 early. Clark, they really got it off to a great start, but Rutgers has played very well down the stretch of the first half.
Well, the zone defense has really been the key. They forced some turnovers, been able to convert those turnovers, and started shooting a much better percentage than they did in the early going.
Let's take a look at some halftime stats here. Field goal shooting, Rutgers cold early. Now shooting 62% on 16 of 26. Penn State really shot it well for the first half. 13 for 23, but not quite enough to keep them in front. Let's take a look at some first half action. This is Tom Savage. What a movie.
Well, this will always help your shooting percentage when you can get it to the paint and watch him explode and flush this one right in Dave Deggett's face. Well, actually in his chest, somewhere on his upper body.
All over it. Turnovers in the first half. Penn State finally fell victim to the Rutgers press. They turned it over 10 times. Most of those from the midpoint of the half on. Rutgers took care of the ball, turning it over only 6 times. And Penn State taking advantage of the turnovers. Here's one right here. You're going to see Danica get the steal.
There it is, the easy basket opportunity when you get the turnover. Miles Dixon, who had an impressive first half with 6 points and 2 assists, really gave them a spark. The Scarlet Knights off the bench.
So Rutgers with the lead and the basketball to start the second half. With the Lewis Brown Athletic Center on Rutgers campus, cross campus at the Livingston Center and the Barn. They're showing this game on closed-circuit television. There was such a ticket demand. Tom Savage trying to open the second half with a 3, misses, and Ward slams it back outside, but it's out of bounds to Penn State. Clark, we had a chance to make a quick visit to the Livingston Center, and kids were fired up over there tonight.
They were ready to go. Standing room only. Eventually, when we got there, it was rather early, and the place was still filled pretty good. So those students right now enjoying the fact that their team on top by a deuce.
Today, the tickets went on sale. If you weren't lined up by 7 a.m., you didn't get one. Right inside the Bruce Blake goes Penn State to open the second half, and the game is tied at 40.
That's just the way they started the game, but Bruce Blake had to sit down because he picked up a couple of quick fouls. And if he can stay out of foul trouble, he could be a real factor. The first 4 or 5 minutes of this first half are going to be key as to who tries to seize control of this one.
Ed Fogle with the steal. Monty Brown sliding the baseline inside. Bruce Blake. That's rejected by Anthony Duckett. Up to Craig Carter. Make the dish to Savage. And comes to Penn State. Billy Barnes able to pick it off. Savage couldn't quite come up with the pass. Penn State now with a chance to regain the lead.
Craig Carter probably should have tried to take that ball to the middle. That was a tough pass he tried to make. Penn State doing a nice job getting back defensively.
Somebody in this game is going to the NCAA. Freddie Barnes missed. Bruce Blake had it. It's out of bounds to Penn State. Danica got a hand on it. Rutgers has been to the NCAA 4 times. They were in the Final Four in 1976. They were last there in 1983. They beat Southwest Louisiana, then lost to St. John's up in Hartford. Penn State has been there 5 times, one more than Rutgers, but they haven't been there since 1965. Craig Carter now with a steal. Fogle got a hand on it. Hovass rebounds. They've got to get Hovass involved in the offense somehow.
He's only 1 of 3, and that a 3-pointer.
Hovass trying to get himself involved. Duckett with his second block this half, and now Danica has the basketball, and a great save to Anthony Duckett by Danica.
Well, these kids, for both teams, are just landing on the line. And that's what college basketball is about this time of the year. Just going after it, laying it all out there on the floor. And those guys down there are doing a great job of that.
Long way to go here. 18:08 left in this contest. Duckett for the lead. Hovass got a hand on the ball and blocked it. It's a jump ball. The possession belongs to Penn State. Now the Nittany Lions with another chance to go in front.
Boy, the Lions dodged the bullet there as Ducker was able to just come from the weak side to the strong side, which is a no-no. Fogle did not put a body on him and keep him from getting that good position, but Hovass helped out and forced the jump ball.
Brown, Hovass, Eddie Barnes.
Oh, boy, Fogle really wasn't expecting that. If he'd have made a cut to the basket, a couple of steps, great look by Monty Brown on the stat sheet. That's a TO for him. That was an excellent look. Fogle just didn't react as he should have.
You know, Hovass in the semifinal game didn't score in the first half and had 16 in the second half, so he may come up with a big game yet tonight. He's done it before. There are the turnovers.
I'm sure Coach Parkhill addressed that in the locker room.
Tom Savage has 10 points now. He had to sit out the last 2:51 of the first half with 3 fouls. Rutgers back on top by a pair. Kick, the ball belongs to Penn State. And a new 45-second clock. Bob Wenzel, Bruce Parkhill.
Two outstanding young coaches.
Johnny Brown. Ed Fogel squares up, shoots, and gets it. Ed Fogel now has 8 points.
Well, that's a nice little move by Fogel. He's not been getting it inside since midway through the first half. So what does he do? He steps out to about 12 feet with a little medium-range jump shot. Penn State needs to try to penetrate that zone with the dribble. And then Money Brown and Freddie Barnes, as well as Tom Hovash, have to be ready to shoot the ball once it goes inside and comes back out.
Savage outside to Danica with 16:39 left in the game and a 42-42 tie. Tom Savage. Danica try to get by Blake. Greg Carter in the middle of it all puts up the jump shot and banks it in. What a move by Carter. He has 10.
Well, he's a slicer and a slasher. He likes to shoot the ball on the move in traffic. And he's got that knack for getting it down.
He's having a night. He's at 5 out of 6 shots tonight, has 10 points. Freddie Barnes, Money Brown from long range of 3.
See, Brett, I think that shot's going to be there whenever they want to take it. And Money Brown and Freddie Barnes are going to have to take it. Again, Rutgers doing a great job in that half-court zone defense, but they're really concentrating on taking the inside action away from Penn State. That perimeter shot will be there.
Money Brown has 8 points, Penn State by 1. Savage for 3 from the deep corner. Rebounded by Penn State. Hovash, nice block out of Emory Ward. And Freddie Barnes is fouled. I think that one kind of got him in the eyes. Ward took a swipe at the ball and commits his second foul of the night.
Not a smart foul by Emory Ward. Freddie Barnes has full control of the basketball. He's in the backcourt. He's not going to hurt you back there. Just a bad foul that time by Ward. Here you get a look at that foul. Arias gets smacked right in the right eye.
15:40 left in this game. We'll be right back. We are back with 15:40 left in this basketball game. Penn State up by 1 with the basketball now. Freddie Barnes to Monroe Brown.
I'm not surprised by the tightness of this one. Both of these teams, similar records. They've played extremely well over the last portion of their season. Rutgers has won 7 straight. Penn State, 10 of their last 13. They got a good one.
Hovash, 18 on the shot clock. They dump it inside to Fogel, working hard for the shot. It's knocked loose. Trying to get it out of there, and now he's fouled by Craig Carter. 15:08 left in this one. Let's go back to John Saunders.
Thanks a lot, gentlemen. Rutgers and Penn State fighting their way into the tournament, and the Wax is trying to get back to the Atlantic 10. Penn State and Rutgers, who will get that berth in the NCAA tournament?
Savage trying to get Rutgers back in front. The shot falls, count it. Was that the 4th foul on Tom Hovash?
That it is.
Hovash, who just committed the 3rd foul, now whistled for the 4th with 13:49 left in this game. And that is big call.
Nice dump-in pass by Anthony Duckett. Look at that nice pass after the penetration inside. And Savage, get in there. Hung on the rim and finally dropped. Hovash, foul number 4. He's having words with somebody.
Brian now replaces Hovash. He goes to the bench with 13:49 left in this game. He committed 2 quick fouls. 46-45 Rutgers. Savage now has 13 points. Rutgers leads by 2. Bruce Blake. Drive. The shot doesn't fall on the foul that time on Miles Dixon. His second.
Here they go. Brian Allen just over the top to Bruce Blake. Immediately creates a 2-on-1. Rutgers gets back so well, but Blake decides to take it himself. Not a bad play that time by Bruce Blake.
Blake, a 6'6" senior, 75% free throw shooter. Look at that crowd behind him. That's what he's staring into. And he hits the free throw. Now he could tie the game with 13:46 left.
The Look at the numbers on him, 58% field goal shooting.
Lee Perry rebounds. Rutgers up by 1.
Penn State's been all man-to-man.
Dixon. That's a foul. Money Brown on the reach. Got him on the arm. First foul on Monroe Brown.
I really think Money Brown and Freddie Barnes have the quickness to stay in front of people, but sometimes they just aren't quite ready to move their feet laterally. Here we get the tail end of the penetration, but clearly Miles Dixon has beaten Money Brown badly, and there was just a grazed touch foul on the shot.
James Barnes in the lineup now for Penn State, replacing Money Brown. So now Penn State going back to 3 big men. They were with the 3-guard lineup, and Hovass came out of the game. Brian Allen replaced him. And Allen and Freddie Barnes at the guards. Miles Dixon, free throw, won't drop.
Boy, in their last game, Dixon only played 9 minutes in the win against Temple, did not contribute, had a bunch of zeros in the stat column, but here tonight he's been a factor.
Miles Dixon has 7 points. A 6'2 senior from Jersey City. Played with David Rivers and Kenny Wilson in high school there at St. Anthony High School.
One of the best high schools in the country, ranked #1 in USA Today's high school poll.
Brian Allen tried to get Fogel knocked out of there by Duckett, and again that inside defense of Rutgers forces the turnover. Savage, tough jump shot, and he got it.
Boy, you don't know how tough that shot is in traffic.
4-point lead, Rutgers, their biggest lead of the night, and listen to this crowd. 13 minutes to play. Blake, Brian Allen, Freddie Barnes.
See, Freddie Barnes has to put the ball on the floor and penetrate. See, he's not making that guy move at all ahead of the zone defense, and that's Rick Gattaca. He's got to make him move, make him play somebody.
There's Barnes, shot off the rim, rebound Lee Perry, knocked loose by Blake. It's saved by Anthony Duckett, and here comes Rutgers up by 4. Miles Dixon flashes it into the lane, and the jump shot is no good. Rebound to Ed Fogel for Penn State.
Boy, Penn State hasn't figured out a way to stop Miles Dixon from penetrating anytime he wants to. That time he just missed what was a very good shot opportunity. Penn State now, Fred, has to attack this zone defense better. They've got to try to make Gattaca work, move the defense either with the pass or dribble penetration.
Great shot, no. 12:07 left in the basketball game. Rutgers with a 4-point lead in the ball. Bob Wenzel shouting instructions to his club as they bring the ball up court, and Miles Dixon is walking it. Penn State has hit just 3 out of 9 shots in the second half. They haven't had very good shots.
That one by Bruce Blake certainly out of his range. He works inside. 12 feet in is where he operates best.
Miles Dixon. Give it up in the corner to Lee Perry. Back to Dixon. There's the penetration, and the shot rolls off the rim. Dixon chases the rebound down. Back to the lane he goes, and the press stolen by James Barnes. To Freddie Barnes. Penn State down 4. Blake. Now they get it inside to Fogel, and he can't stick the turnaround jumper. Rebound, Anthony Duckett. To Miles Dixon. Lee Perry moves against Freddie Barnes. 7 points, Lee Perry. And a 6-point lead to Rutgers, their biggest lead of the night. Still 11:07 to play, and Penn State wants to talk about it. Look at this crowd. Class is Lou Bonder, the supervisor of officials on the left, John Wooding, the assistant commissioner. Well, the crowd is absolutely suffocating. They are cranked up. Bob Wenzel with a hook for Miles Dixon. He has played big off the bench for this team.
He's really been outstanding in his effort. He's been able to exploit the Penn State man-to-man defense. We just saw Commissioner Berdovich and John Wooding, Rich McKeon, Rob, Drew, Cindy, all the people in their office have done an outstanding job all year long.
Really have. This has been an excellent tournament. Penn State has to find a way. Bruce Parkhill called the timeout, and let's see if they can get something going now. James Barnes fighting for position low, and Bruce Blake takes it inside and scores. 9 for Bruce Blake, and a 4-point lead to Rutgers.
Well, you love to, as a coach, you would love to see that happen every time you call a timeout. When you needed a hoop, you set something up and your players go out there and get it. Look at the fast break point. A direct result of the turnovers, I think. Rutgers has been able to kick it loose from Penn State and get those easy transition opportunities. 21-5 in fast break points, favor of Rutgers.
Rutgers got down by 13 early in this game. They came back to take the lead at halftime, and they're up by 4 now with 10-12 left in the game. Duckett lost the ball. Picked off by James Barnes, and here comes Penn State now with a chance to turn the lead a bit more.
Well, nice play by James Barnes to get back and pluck it out of there cleanly.
Here's Parkhill with his offense in front of him calling the play. Now Freddie Barnes sets up the offense against the Rutgers zone, which has been a very effective defense tonight.
Well, I don't want to take anything away from Rutgers defense, but I think Penn State can tackle a little better with some penetration from their people on the perimeter.
Freddie Barnes. Bruce Blake from the corner. That's a big bucket. It's a 2. Bruce Blake has hit 2 baskets in a row. He has 11.
Bruce, I talked about he just shot one from the other side of the basket about that same distance, and I said his range was only 12 to 14 feet. Well, maybe he heard me and wanted to prove me wrong.
Look at Danica from way downtown. It misses. Great save by Duckett. To Savage. Off-balance shot. No, and a blocking foul on Brian Allen of Penn State, his 3rd personal foul. Make Anthony Duckett the hero of that play.
No question about it. Him able to get to the basketball and save it. They've really done a nice job staying even with Penn State on the backboard. Here's the blocking foul on Brian Allen. Boy, he was really close to being there in time.
9:14 left in this game. Tom Savage on the line. Excellent free thrower. 3 for 3 tonight. Ed Fogel now is going to catch a little breather. C.J. Johnson is in to replace him. Savage 3 for 3 tonight. 78% shooter on the year. Rutgers up by 2. Now 16 points for Tom Savage, the 6'5" sophomore.
Well, he's got the game face, doesn't he? I can't imagine him smiling out on the floor.
He had 34 points the first 2 games in this tournament, 30 in 2 games against Penn State this year. Rutgers back up by 4, 9:06 left in the game. James Barnes, Brian Allen, quick jumper, top of the circle, missed. That's Bruce Blake underneath to stick it right back in. And Bruce Blake coming up big in the second half now for Penn State.
Well, he came clear from about 16 feet on the wing, untouched. That's one of the weaknesses of the zone defense. No individual blockout responsibility.
He has 9 of the 14 second half points for Penn State. Barnes to Blake to make it 11 and 16. And now Penn State back to the 54-54 tie.
Well, I told the coaching staff of Penn State when I talked to him, I don't know how Bruce Blake does it, but more times than not, he's the lead guy on the wing, on the break.
Rutgers calls timeout with 8:24 to play and nothing having been decided. Made the trip down here, and they are now celebrating as Penn State has fought back to tie this thing. They fought back because of Bruce Blake.
He got 11 of their 16 second half points. Here's the miss by Allen, untouched from the right wing. There's Mr. Blake. Hello, how do you do?
Look at all those nifty little moves inside. They really scored. Blake tonight with 15 points, 11 of them here in the second half. He's had 7 out of 9 field goal attempts. His last 4 shots, and again has 11 of the 16 points Penn State has scored in the second half. He's doing this with Hovass on the bench with 4 fouls. Duckett, double team, takes the shot anyway, hits it, and he's fouled. Count the basket. Tough shot, Anthony Duckett. He'll go to the line.
Oh, we got ourselves one heck of a basketball game here tonight, Fred. He's double teamed. Now he just spins away from the double team. Little fade away from about 6 feet. Nice touch, and he got the bump and has a chance for a 3-point.
You know, C.J. Johnson was standing there with his hands up with good position and moved right at the last minute. Duckett hits the free throw, makes a 3-point play. Rutgers up 3. Ed Fogel back in the lineup now. C.J. Johnson goes to the bench for Penn State. Tom Hovass sat down with his 4th foul. At the 13:49 mark, he's been on the bench for 5.5 minutes. It may be a while before he gets back in. 8:06 left in the game. Bruce Blake at the top of the circle. Monroe Brown. Vogel squares up. Ooh, tough shooting luck for Penn State that time. It was in and came back out.
That's really a nice move to get the ball inside.
Savage to the baseline, lost it. Out of bounds, it'll be Penn State basketball. Rutgers by 3 with 7:48 to play. Penn State is led by as many as 13, Rutgers by as many as 6.
Boy, Bruce Blake has the hot hand. I think Penn State would figure out a way to try to get it in his hands and let him do some work, continue to do work.
Buddy Barnes missed the shot. Danica has the rebound for Rutgers. Tom Hovass is going to come back in now for Penn State with 7:27 to play. Bruce Parkfield has decided to get him in the ball game and take the chance. Savage. Off balance shot, misses. Rebound, Bruce Blake. Buddy Barnes up court for the Nittany Lions with 7:11 left in the game. Double dribble. No, there's a kick. Call it a kick. It's still Penn State basketball. And here comes Tom Hovass back. I thought Barnes had made a mistake that he did not make. That ball was kicked.
Well, it did look like he had turned the ball over. But the official saw something else. Hovass needs to look to shoot it from the perimeter when he's got a good shot in his range. Hasn't really been a factor offensively.
He's just 1 for 4 tonight. Boy, again, they slap the ball away as it comes into Vogel. Now Money Brown runs it down, gives it back to Freddie Barnes. How many times tonight has Rutgers slapped that pass away in there?
Well, that pass has been telegraphed a number of times, but also Rutgers has done a good job in terms of being active with their hands.
Monroe Brown can't quite get it down. The ball is out of bounds. It is Penn State basketball with 6:36 to play. The Nittany Lions down by 3. Hovass with only 3 points in this game will handle the inbounds pass. He's 1 for 4 tonight. Barnes to Brown.
See right there, Barnes has to try to put it on the. Brown has to try to put it on the floor and make people playing.
Hovass. Henry Ward got out quickly to cover him. Hovass, and again Ward comes out. Barnes to Monroe Brown to Bruce Blake in heavy traffic. He's got it. Do they count it? No. It's a foul on Bruce Blake. His 3rd personal foul, and the basket doesn't count, and that is big.
Here we get a look at it. I want to see this one. He catches it in traffic. Yeah, there's the bump. There it is, the lowering of the shoulder.
It's a good call.
Good call that time. You're right. You're exactly right, Fred.
6:09 left in the game. Rutgers with a 3-point lead in the basketball. Danica gives it up for Craig Carter. Duckett. Anthony Duckett with a stick back. He has 10. Rutgers by 5. 5:55 left to play. Penn State needs something.
Guys in the truck doing a nice job on that last replay. Well, that time Duckett just found the ball after that air ball by Carter. Air balls usually throw people off in terms of rebounding. You expect them to hit the rim. They can catch the defense a little flat-footed sometimes.
Didn't bother Lorenzo Charles a few years ago.
Well, usually the offensive player has a bead more so on the ball in that situation than the defensive player.
Hovass sticks a 3. His 2nd basket of the night. He has 6 points, and now it's a 2-point lead for Rutgers with 5:15 to play.
Penn State showing us some zone now. Obviously with Hovass at the 4 fouls. I'm going to try to keep him from getting the 5th. Good move here by Coach Parkhill.
5 minutes to play. Rutgers with a 2-point lead in the basketball in what has been an excellent basketball game here tonight for the Atlantic 10 Conference Championship. I think it's pretty clear that only the winner of this game will go to the NCAA Championship. The other team quite likely would wind up in the NIT. So it is big. That is big. Craig Carter, his 12th point. Tough shot off the baseline.
I really think the tougher the shot, the more he likes it. He loves to go in there on penetration, slashing and slicing in traffic, and somehow he gets the shot off.
Rutgers by 4, 4:23 to play. Monroe Brown, Tom Hovass, Eddie Barnes, Bruce Blake. Whistle blowing as Blake went to the baseline. Anthony Duckett got a little bit of upset. He's all right. The official very quickly getting there to make sure that he doesn't get too upset. The foul is called against Tom Savage. That's his 4th foul. It comes with 4:15 left in the game, so he'll have to be careful down the stretch now.
He's going to sit down now and get a breather as Lee Perry checks in. Here we get a look at it. Right portion of your screen. There he is with the bump with the leg.
16 foul, or no, 13 foul on Rutgers.
Boy, smart play by Hovass. All receivers were denied. He just bounced it off a Rutgers defender.
Penn State's committed 6 fouls. Rutgers just 3 in the second half. Hovass is fouled as he takes the shot. He'll go to the line with 4:10 left in the game. Let us finish our housekeeping chores. The arrow belongs to Penn State if there's a held ball. Emory Ward's 4th foul comes with 4:10 left in the game. Tom Hovass to the line, a 77% shooter. Penn State down 4. He is looking into a sea of waving red arms, pom-poms. And gets the second. 7 points, Hovass. 3-point lead, Rutgers. 4:10 left in the game.
Obviously, you know those people are there when you're shooting right into them, but you really need to concentrate, and most players are able to just to concentrate on the hole.
Don't see much but the rim, do they?
That's right.
Lee Perry misses, and Blake rebounds, and here comes Penn State down 3. Freddie Barnes now pushing it a little quicker. Hovass back to Barnes. Money Brown.
Well, look at Blake sitting down in that post. He really wants it.
Barnes steps in the corner. Hovass 3 for the tie. Got it.
That is a great play by Freddie Barnes. He had a shot. Really focused in, put the isolated cam on Hovass, wanted to get it into the hands of their best 3-point shooter, and he buried it.
Bob Wenzel and Rutgers call timeout as the Penn State fans celebrate the tie with 3:23 left in this game. 3:23 left to play. Hovass' 3-point goal just tied the game at 61, and Rutgers called the timeout.
You young players want to shoot 3-pointers? Well, how about moving without the ball? There you see Hovass from one end of the baseline completely to the other to get an open shot and then square up beautifully and drill it. Nice pass, too, by Freddie Barnes.
Savage back in the game now for Rutgers. He has 4 fouls. Hovass is playing with 4. Danica from way outside at 3. I mean, from way above the 3-point line. It's a 3-point lead to Rutgers at 3:07 to play.
You know what happens, I think, in that situation? You don't think Datica's going to shoot it from that deep, Fred. When you're out there on the floor, I mean, he's 3-4 feet behind the arc, and you really don't feel like he's going to shoot it from there.
Here's Blake, turnaround jumper, no. And a foul on Ed Kober. Rutgers has a 3-point lead, and they're going to shoot a free throw here. Here's Parkhill. The Penn State coach obviously doesn't like the call. Ken Loomis, one of his assistants behind him there.
Here's Blake getting the shot he wants. A little hard off the back iron, off the heel of the rim. Oh, I don't know where that one was. I mean, my goodness, it's in the paint, going after the orange. Let him bump and thump a little bit in there.
Miles Dixon free throw put Rutgers up by 4 with, it's Miles Dixon. Oh, here's a Carter, isn't it? It's Carter on the line.
Greg Carter. That hairstyle, and you mistook him for someone else?
Greg Carter off the line with his 13th point. That was from the side.
I don't care what angle.
All right, I can't get out of it. Rutgers by 4. Greg Carter makes it Rutgers by 5 with his 14th point. 2:53 to play. Penn State needs to rally again, and listen to the crowd here at Rutgers. Somebody is going to get the automatic bid to the NCAA here tonight. And the Rutgers fans hungry for it. Hovass drops it inside to Blake. Great work by Penn State inside.
Boy, he came down. He did something. I don't know what it is. He's asking for a timeout.
Blake is hurt and down on the floor.
He may have gotten elbowed in the face after the shot. Boy, what poise, though, by the Nittany Lions. And Blake obviously in pain.
He was knocked unconscious.
Here we get a look. Right there in the bottom of your screen. There's the shot. Oh, and he turned and hit his face right on the shoulder of Henry Ward.
He was knocked unconscious in the game in Philadelphia a couple of nights ago, and he's all right. I talked to him before the game, and he waved the trainer off there. He wants to stay in the game. Now, Brian Allen is in the game, replacing Freddie Barnes for Penn State. It's a 3-point lead to Rutgers with 2:27 to play.
Well, maybe that's one of those bumps that makes you dizzy and stings quite a bit immediately, but one of those things you can shake off, especially in the heat of a battle like this.
2:19 left in the game, 30 on the shot clock for Rutgers. Danica picks up the dribble, gets Emery Ward up high, right back to Danica. 66-63 Rutgers. Danica going for three. Woo! Rick Danica has hit 2 threes in a row, and Rutgers up 6 with 2 minutes to play. Danica has nailed them from long range.
Boy, timing is everything. And you can't hit three-pointers at a better time than when he's hit them.
He's got a license to shoot that shot, Clark, and it may have turned into a license to kill for Rutgers here tonight with 1:53 to play. Rutgers by 6. Rick Danica has it.
Here we're going to look at him. This is the second of 2 consecutive three-pointers. Allen's going to stumble, really playing to cut him off on penetration. Gives him much too much room and daylight. And up until then, Fred, Rutgers only 2 of 10 for three-point range. Now Danica comes down the last 2 times and buries them from deep.
We'll see if Penn State has an answer. They're down by 6, 1:48 left in the basketball game.
Penn State with a couple of timeouts, but you don't need that. Turnover.
And well-ground travel, Emery Ward celebrates. Rutgers gets it back, 1:45 to play, and the Scarlet Knights up 6. Craig Carter in backcourt. Anthony Duckett. Tipped away by Freddie Barnes. He moves on Duckett. Count the basket and a foul.
Oh, what a turnaround. Freddie Barnes with great anticipation and strength to finish it off in the open court. Duckett hustling back. Picks up the foul. Here it is. Look at Barnes, that anticipation. Beautiful steal. And now he knows he's going to get challenged. Takes it to the hoop. As a matter of fact, Duckett may have blocked that into the hole.
Yeah, he might have. Duckett not happy with it, obviously.
What a ball game. Back and forth. You're on the seesaw.
Now a 4-point lead Rutgers, and Freddie Barnes on the line. 4 for 4 tonight. And now it's a 3-point ball game with 1:30 to play.
Boy, how that changes things dramatically. From a 6-point cushion with the ball, Rutgers, the turnover in the 3-point hoop, and now it's a different game. Rutgers still needs to come up with a good possession here and get 2 more or 3 more.
Savage, Danica, Barnes guarding Danica. Hovass helping him near the baseline. Near steal by Monroe Brown. Took it away from Emery Ward, but he couldn't hold it. It's out of bounds to Rutgers. 1:09 left in the game. 25 on the shot clock for the Scarlet Knights. Danica. Emery Ward in the lane. Shot misses. Rebound Penn State. Brian Allen got it. 55 seconds to play. The Nittany Lions down 3. Money Brown. Hovass looks at his coach. Freddie Barnes, 44 seconds to play. Penn State needs 3 for the tie. Danica chasing Hovass.
Well, they're almost going to have to shoot a 3 now because they're using a lot of time.
Hovass fouled by Rick Danica, the second on Danica. The foul comes with 34 seconds to play, but Penn State down by 3. There's Bob Wenzel. Danica was chasing Hovass all over the court that time, trying to prevent the 3. That is the 16th foul on Rutgers. Ed Fogel now is going to come back into the Penn State lineup. From here on out, both teams are in the 1-1.
Well, you almost think that Penn State has to look for the three unless they're just going to try to get a quick two inside. And the guy who will probably shoot the three most likely will be Hobart.
Buddy Barnes, three-point range there, doesn't take it. Monroe Brown, 25 seconds left in the game. A near turnover saved by Blake. Shot clock is off. Timeout taken by Penn State with 17 seconds to play. Well, we are down to it, Clark Kellogg.
Oh, what a great way to finish up this Atlantic 10 season with this kind of game for the conference championship with the NCAA bid on the line for two teams that nobody really expected to be in this position to start with.
And to go back to what you talked about at the beginning of the game, people around the country may be saying, what are they doing there? Well, they earned the right to get there. Rutgers has won 7 in a row. The last time they lost was at Penn State. Penn State has played so well down the stretch. The last time Penn State went to the NCAA tournament was back in 1965. They've been there 5 times. Rutgers has been there 4 times, the last time in '83. There's the Penn State bench. This is the Rutgers huddle. Bob Wenzel talking.
Think he's got their attention?
Well, you know they're going to defend Hovast tough. Three-point shooters for Penn State. Hovast tonight 3 for 4. Brown 1 for 2. Barnes 2 for 4. Allen 2 for 4. Allen is not in the game right now.
See, the key about this, they've got 4 guys out there that can shoot it. And it might come down to one of the unlikely guys, maybe Barnes or Brown, being willing to take the big shot.
Hovast from long range, in and out. Rebound, fought for. Rutgers has it. 5 seconds to play. Savage in backcourt. A foul was called with 2 seconds to play. The fans are coming on the court. There is still time left on the clock. They're going to have to get the fans off the court. This game isn't over. And they immediately do get them off.
Boy, look at Mark Shapiro down there working. He didn't bargain for this, I know.
No.
He's tough enough just to blow that whistle. Then you got to do some crowd control action, too. Well, everything seems to be back to normal. It's going to be Bedlam if they hold on and win this one.
There are 2 seconds left in the game. Bob Wenzel getting everybody back off the line. Tom Savage will shoot 1-1. He is 5 for 5 at the line tonight. Has 17 points, and he could ice it right here. Barring a miracle for Penn State, Rutgers is going to the NCAA. Bruce Parkhill wants to call a timeout to see what he can figure out for his club. Scribe's going to tell you everything. Bob Wenzel, his team up by 4 with 2 seconds play, trying to get a photographer out of his huddle so he can talk to his team.
Well, they're ready to celebrate, and rightly so. Well, this is the kind of game, Fred, when you really think neither team deserves to lose. I mean, it's been that kind of year for both of these clubs, and although it looks like Rutgers certainly is going to come out and win this one and get to the big party, what a great way for Wenzel's first season.
Rutgers was 7 and 22 last year. 7 and 22 last year, and they are going to the NCAA. Is that the turnaround?
Oh, that's a major turn. That's a big league turnaround.
Bob Wenzel coming back to his alma mater. First year as head coach.
Is there a nicer story in college basketball than what's happened here, Fred?
Don't know what it could be. When this is over, just watch the Rutgers bench in the crowd. Fogel throws at the length of the court. Rutgers goes to the NCAA. Look at the mob scene on the court. Look at the joy in the Lewis Brown Athletic Center at Rutgers. From 7 and 22 last year to the NCAA. So Rutgers wins at 70-66. Take you back to John Saunders.
Thanks a lot, gentlemen.